And we're back. Okay, now where we left off. So yeah, Uncle Clifford's deceased mom or spirit or ghost visits Uncle Clifford and lets him know, because he's like, love killed you. And she's like, no, baby, love didn't kill me. Irresponsibility and lack of protection is what killed me. But yeah, and then again, we find out what happened to his mother's passing. Now, and she emphasizes that don't do that disservice to yourself. Take a risk, take a leap of faith. This person seems like they're genuine and they genuinely care for you. So that stays in his mind. And then moving forward, when they're back at the club, because again, they're planning for Miss Grandmother's homecoming party, we're met with my favorite song yet again, Sam Cooke. All these great shows featured Sam Cooke. Ozark showcased it in their last episode for their series finale, and they so eloquently and picked a really good track and scene to focus that song on. Bring It On Home, to me, oh my god, because there's a moment where Uncle Clifford is going through all of his memories and looking at the photo albums of his grandmother and his mother and how much the pink really has meant to him over the years. Which sadly he can't sit and reminisce for too long because Haley's in there bitching and moaning and talking like I can't believe it. Promised Land, pulled the rug from underneath us, and she's pissed because now she can't get the $10 million that she so desperately wanted. And he's like, well, it's unfortunate. Hey, they were gonna the Corbins were gonna Corbin and Kyle were gonna do what they were gonna do. They're of the same family. So she's like, you had something to do with this. Like you did whatever you could to save this wretched building. And she's like, this building isn't what you think. It's history, and plenty of people have passed through here that became not only friends but family, and we could have been that for you. But what I can't give you as a consolation is your $250,000 back. She's like, what? Where did you? And it was like, well, that's what Corbin paid for. So he bought her out. But she's like, this isn't fair. This isn't a fair cut. As much money I've already spent on this, hellhole that is soon to close. How many fixtures and PPEs and all that. This isn't nearly fair what I deserve. And she lets it be known that that's all she's going to get. And that, she could either exit through the door or the window. She's going to throw her through the window. And Big L's always there having Clifford's back. And that's why I think they both complement each other so perfect. And she's like, I don't need anybody. I stay rolling. And she made that, I think, known in episode 2. That because of her past and not ever feeling at home because she went through the foster care system, she doesn't develop attachments. She knows what she has. She knows her value. But also knows how to manipulate and use it for not of the greatest purposes. And Georgie made that comment to her, one of the episodes. She's like, that makes you dangerous. So she's, she has to leave. And she slithers on out just like the same way she slithered on in. And they made it a point to let it be known to us viewers that this is Haley's exit of P-Valley. But I think, not for nothing, if they're smart, they will bring her back even in flashbacks. And I don't get a sense that this is really her exit. If there's several seasons, which I'm hoping and praying, because this show is that good, like Roulette says, they'll bring her back to bring chaos, definitely for like a series finale. So, because now we're still left wondering what the hell's gonna happen. Now, she was pregnant. Was she pregnant? We'll see. I still feel like there's some a bit of inspiration or inkling that she might come back, because they also kind of leave it open. She may not be returning for season 3, but they leave it open because, well, we'll get to that towards the end of this video. She's still the slippery snake that she is. But moving forward, we move forward to the big bash for grandmother Ernestine. And we hear the classics. They're playing really great classic R&B from the 70s and 80s. LTD, Love Ballad, and Mint Condition. I'm sorry, Clifford is of my age bracket, so trust me, that is a throwback. Goody good. Pretty Brown Eyes. Oh my God, I love that song. I will forever love Mint Condition, and that song is, and that cements also the relationship that Clifford is having with Little Murder, because Little Murder walks in. We're under the impression Little Murder had left on his tour bus, and he still sticks around for Uncle Clifford and shows up at Ernestine's party. And we see the return of Ernestine's possible love interest. I think one of the people that they had working to put all the PPE together, and I think he's African, and she was like very Wakanda, but I think his name was something very generic that she was like, oh, but she loved his accent, so you can see them cozying up together. They're the cutest thing in the world. All the dancers are invited. Mercedes brings Terica. And he's like, well, you can't be having her here. You know what the pink is. And she's like, well, it's not right now that. It's just a juke joint, and she could be here. So Roulette is there and is using the restroom and happens to run into the wardrobe mistress. Now, I didn't catch her name, sorry, but I do know that she was in season 1, and we never really understood why she was there. And being trans, she's our trans character, she is trans in real life. You also see how scary that can be. Side note, if you really want to see how horrifying that can be, I suggest for you to watch HBO Max's Veneno. And, the pitfalls of being trans and not being seen as a woman. It was a really jarring movie or docu-series. I think it's like 4 parts on HBO. But same thing kind of happened here in the first season, and that's how we're introduced to this character. But she became super close with Clifford, that she's invited to. She was at the birthday party, surprise birthday party, and now she's at this party. And she works at the club as a wardrobe mistress. But she lets it be known that she may be really super close with Clifford, but that she still has ambitions for other things, and she knows that Roulette's up to no good. She knows that she's pimping some of the girls out, and she's like, what you're missing is me, honey. You don't have this type of girl in your stable, and I know they want, because for the longest I think she's had a rift with Clifford because she's wanted to be one of the dancers, and he knows his audience, and they're not ready yet. Even though Clifford has danced himself, but not to the extent of the ladies or the featured dancers in his club at the Pink. So, but I love it also, and I love how everybody says, like, we're all pink. We're all pink. And then there's a small instance where Mercedes is talking to her neighbor Maine, even though they never went to an intimate nature. But he lets it be known he's sour with her now, because it's like, you're wearing their colors, you were wearing red on the stage, you picked a side. She was like, we're all pink. What are you talking about? That night was just a special debut of his song, and I just accompanied it by dance. But, hey, people will be in their feelings, like they say. So, now there's a special moment where Clifford is like, what are you doing here? You should be on tour. And he confesses that he needs to be where he needs to be, and it's with Clifford. And she's like, look, I don't want that responsibility that now you didn't pursue your dreams because of me. I don't want to wake up to regret every morning. Live out your best. You have the potential to captivate the world. And he's like, what's the point of captivating the world if I can't be my honest self? And for the first time, they have an honest and vulnerable moment in their relationship where you see Little Murder finally confess what had happened that night with Teak, and that was his man, had been his former flame before him, and that he hurt himself in front of him. And that's why he was distraught. So he confesses. That's how honest he feels that he can be with Clifford. And Clifford also lets it be known, look, honey, I'm in my 40s, and I know I've been around the rodeo. I sell fantasy for a living. And if it's going to be in my life, it needs to be real. It needs to be outside of my bedroom, and it has to be outside of my closet. So it's very clear that Little Murder wants it to be known that he's into him, like really into him, to the point where he wants to commit to him. So they have something. And as they're confessing to each other, Big L calls Uncle Clifford to where they do their bookkeeping, and realize that their account is negative whatever was left. And they realize that this woman took the last bit that was still there and has now left the pink in debt. So we're right back where we started in season 1, where now, unfortunately, Uncle Clifford is back to zero. It was a temporary fix when Haley put down $250,000 to save the pink, but she took a good chunk of change. She left with $300,000 to be exact. And they play another classic song by Erykah Badu as she's exiting some random Greyhound bus. She has another wig on. I love the show. They're fans of the wigs. The wig life. And again, she always loves to break the fourth wall and stares at the camera with her little smirk. And although she's dressed to the nines with the most expensive of clothes, she's dragging the Pink's money in a garbage bag. And that was her farewell to us as viewers. But like I said, I think she will always be back. She'll be looming somehow, and I feel like she will be back for some kind of like cliffhanger, season finale, something. She's I just don't believe she'll be gone forever. So now Big L brings it back up to Clifford, like, that plug life will provide. So there's a possibility that now the Pink may have to, out of necessity, become that plug life for the Oxycontin and deal with Duffy in a lot more professional sense. And we'll see. We'll see what happens between the prostitution that could be happening under his nose and now the plug life. But what people need to do to survive, Lord. So he exits. He also speaks to Mercedes, and Mercedes lets it be known that that was her last dance, because he was still banking that, like, I got my bottom bitch back and it's fine, we'll be fine. But she lets it be known, like, no, I'm moving on too, but see it as a graduation. And he's like, even though he's like, I can't believe I'm being hit with all of these losses, but he wins in the sense that they have a private moment that's not so private on the dance floor between Little Murder and Clifford. And Little Murder finally kind of like semi comes out of the closet in front of everybody and plants this really passionate kiss on Uncle Clifford. And you can see that their relationship is solidifying. Now, remember I said that Keyshawn had called Diamond to take care of that Derek situation. He's getting all ready and putting everything in his, like, his car, and getting gloves and everything. Really, really intricate, whatever he's doing. And then before you know it, somebody slugs him, and he's just like thrown for a loop. He's out of it. All of a sudden, he also gets like cut up, stabbed, semi-stabbed. And they throw him in the back of the car, in the trunk of the car. And he's getting flashbacks of when he was in the army, when he was perhaps in combat, in the first line of combat. He's still dealing with that trauma. And then we see that the person that threw him in there was freaking Big Bone. Big Bone is like a ninja, I guess. And then she has like her hair's all tied back and she's all in black. And some other guy who's with her was like, yeah, boss, it's been him. So I guess she really took it hard when the possibility that he still had feelings for Keyshawn. But I guess she was also hired there. She's like some hired spy. And she had the ring of Haley's ex. So again, all of this continues to be attached to freaking Haley's baggage. And now Diamond's in harm's way. And now we don't know if he'll really ever get to Derek, and if Keisha's not gonna get stuck in prison. Poor girl. But we leave on that cliffhanger, and it's like, anyway, it was such a great season. I recommend you guys watching it. It is streaming on Stars right now, season 2. All 10 episodes are stellar. They deserve Emmys. I'm sorry, they do. Great story writing, great storytelling, great show on the showrunners. It was really interesting work. Like I said, I never felt bored or felt the need to grab any phone because it captivated me for sure. So guys, if you like what you see, give us a like, give us a share, leave us a comment down below. If you want to follow my videos, hit the subscription button and the notification button. I'm anxiously waiting to review other shows like American Horror Stories. I just saw Ex Machina on HBO, which I might do a special on Oscar Isaac because he's becoming my crush, my acting crush. And I might be reviewing a few other things too because I saw a trailer for Cobra Kai is coming back. And The Addams Family with Wednesday. Oh my God. I just saw it this week. It just made its debut. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot coming down the pipeline for Netflix, HBO, and this is presently on Stars. And I think they're going to be expanding also their programming in the next couple of months. So it's going to be a really interesting fall. So again, y'all, stay tuned. Let's play this out. Mint Condition. Oh my God, I love this song.